Okay, so we are ready to start recording at any moment now.
Right, so
Wait,
quick.
wait, before that. I've been watching Miraculous Ladybug as of late. You know
Oh
that
yeah,
show?
I keep seeing that around, that one.
It's pretty successful. It's actually a joint venture between a French animation company and Toei Animation, the colossus of Japanese animation.
Yeah,
They even produced a 2D animated trailer, or teaser if you will, for the show back in 2013.
yeah.
It looks better than the show itself because it's 2D animated, but honestly, I'm not doing justice to the show. The show looks great. It is easily the best CGI animated series, at least from a visual standpoint. It has great action points.
Yeah,
Definitely, its stronger points are the color palette, the quality CGI animation, the interesting character design,
yeah.
and also very stylistically rich. For example, the villain from the very first episode looks like a gothic reinterpretation of Harley Quinn.
Right.
And of course, there's the villain, the main villain of the piece, that is
Yeah.
Hawkmoth.
Oh, come on.
I am Hawkmoth. I will have all of the Miraculouses for me. For I am Hawkmoth, and one day Hawkmoth, will destroy you, Ladybug. He stands alone in his tower doing nothing but possessing children, basically young teenagers, by sending his butterflies to possess them whenever they feel down. And quintessential monster of the week formula that is so unbelievably dumb from a narrative standpoint. This is clearly a callback to various types of comics and shows and anime that the creator of the show grew up with.
Yeah.
That's nice and all. It's really dumb, but in a funny way at least.
Mm-hmm.
The writing, it's not its strongest point. I mean, with that said, and I'm not just talking about the predictable monster of the week formula, I'm talking about the fact that the main character is not a really good human being and never learns any lesson whatsoever. She has this crush over her classmate because, of course, she has a crush over her classmate. This is basically the French Sailor Moon we're talking about.
Yes.
Essentially, it's Usagi turned up to 11 in that regard.
Yeah.
So she has a crush on this classmate of hers,
Yeah.
which leans on borderline stalker behavior. She is one step removed from Yandere Simulator. Really. One episode, she steals the phone of this crush because she wanted to delete a message. A final deletion of a message that she sent to him by mistake, and she gets away with it, and she learns nothing.
Wow.
Also, her crush happens to be her co-worker and superhero sidekick that she does not recognize.
Well, of course not.
And he does not recognize her, even though the crush in real life has a crush on the Ladybug persona. So, during this entire series, we have these two main characters basically having a crush on each other's alter egos without knowing who each other is, even though it is so bafflingly obvious. And the worst part is that the main heroine actually is really good in noticing all the necessary plot points of every episode, so this makes this even more offensive. And unfortunately, this stupidity extends to the entire cast of the show.
Oh no.
Yes, everybody's so dumb. But in spite of that, it's fairly addicting. Like I said, it's colorful and bright. It's not good in the traditional sense that it is good, but it is a nicely put together homage and tribute to anime and comics, having Sailor Moon and Wonder Woman on the front page, so to speak, of its inspirations. So, yeah, check it out, especially if you want to hear about Hawkmoth, which is the best part of the show. I've seen 11 episodes so far. I'm binging it, basically. I kind of wish to see Okmov in a tag team with Broken Matt now. Broken Matt! This is the alliance that shall put an end to Ladybug and the pesky Cat Noir. Ah, yes, brother Hawkmoth. Together we shall put an end to all of our enemies. We will delete them. Hawkmoth. Oh, by the way, I've been recording for 6 minutes now.
Oh, that's lovely, and I didn't say anything. Because I was too busy listening to you and just absorbing everything you said like a sponge because I've not seen the show. And plus, I have a headache right now, so double the yays.
Wrestling podcast! Okay, yes, welcome everybody to the Madhog and Divar Wrestling Podcast, or if you will, the MADW podcast, or just the Mad Wrestling Podcast, whatever suits your boat. So anyway, other than completely wasting your time talking about something that's completely unrelated to pro wrestling, we're here to mostly talk about Sami Zayn, because earlier this week, I've given Devar some homeworks to watch a series of matches that happened during this year for future discussions. And apparently Devar watched 4 matches, all of which had Sami Zayn in it. So this segues into us talking about Sami Zayn.
Yes,
approximately.
And also, there was a lot of other matches, but I decided to put all the Sami Zayns into one big bulk, essentially, just so then we could talk about all these matches that you gave me to peruse and see what I missed, essentially.
Yes. Well, this will cover up the nice and hopefully under an hour long podcast.
Oh no, in the 6 minutes that you just talked about another thing will definitely not add to that.
Well, don't worry, I'll find a clever way, and not totally forced at all, to connect Miraculous Ladybug with Sami Zayn. If anybody can do it, that's me. Somehow.
Yeah, so really, I think...
I've already linked Hawkmoth with Broken Matt, so what more do you want?
Well, yeah, what more would anyone want in this day and age if they like both wrestling and CGI cartoon animations?
Like I said, this one is actually pretty good to look at. I mean, for CGI cartoon standards.
Yeah.
Which are not very flattering standards to begin with.
So yeah, before we start talking, I think I should basically say I did actually look at the order of when these matches came in, though not Shinsuke Nakamura versus Sami Zayn. That will be left for last, I think.
Oh, I think I know why you left that for last.
Because I think the biggest portion of this will be talking about another person that's involved in all 3 of these other matches.
Oh, let me guess. It's Broken Matt, right? It's Hawkmoth.
No, it's The Miz.
Oh. I thought you were going to talk about Kevin Owens.
Well, of course I'm going to talk about Kevin Owens. I thought you watched these matches.
Yes, I did, but The Miz was somehow involved with one of the Sami Zayn Owens matches because it basically led to the formation of the Fatal 4-Way match they had the following month, involving The Miz and Cesaro. But yes, so Kevin Owens is so good. Both they are so good.
So let's start off with the first match that they had at Payback.
Yes.
Because that was the first match they had together, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens,
it's technically the first match, one-on-one match they had on the main roster, but they already faced each other 2 times on NXT. In fact, their history in NXT, and by inclusion also their entire history as friends in 14 years, has been brought upon pretty well and competently in the build-up to their own feud.
Yeah, it also really adds to the match, the emotion that goes behind everything that goes through the matches.
Yes. The first match they had was, like I said, in NXT. That match came to be after Sami Zayn won the NXT Championship after chasing after it for so long, and Kevin Owens just signed up on NXT to just powerbomb him on the apron of the ring right after he won the title, because Sami Zayn happened to be the champion.
Or in this case, out of the ring.
Yes, so they had the first match 2 months later in which Kevin Owens basically beat up Sami Zayn so bad that the referee had to interrupt the match and award Kevin Owens with the title. So then Sami Zayn actually had a real-life injury during a match with John Cena, of all people. It was under special circumstances, and he had to take time away to do a surgery and basically recover. But before that, they still ended up having a second match. Kevin Owens once again powerbombed Sami Zayn on the apron of the ring, once again having the match ending in a no contest.
Wow,
so both times Kevin Owens wins and retains the title by destroying poor Sami Zayn.
It seems like a popular trend, but we'll talk more about that.
Oh yes, and then Sami Zayn comes back in NXT at the end of 2015, and then he has a debut in the main roster during the Royal Rumble match, in which he eliminates Kevin Owens from said match. And then, after all that, they were involved in an Intercontinental Championship ladder match at WrestleMania 32, and Sami Zayn ended up costing Kevin Owens the match, while, of all people, freaking Zack Ryder won that match, only to lose the title 24 hours after to The Miz, which will be important for later. And all of this contributes to lead up to their first one-on-one match on the main roster at Payback, which you were about to discuss.
Yes, and my best...
I'll give you the floor.
Yes, of course. Thanks, but don't you think this floor is too big for me to carry on my own?
I actually want you to talk about these matches for the most part, because I realize I tend to steal too much airtime as it is.
Yes, I know, but first thing I will say before that is that WWE should really stop doing that, having champions lose their titles the day afterwards, because it just makes things seem a bit weird.
Well, to be fair, it was Zack Ryder. He had no business winning it in the first place.
Okay, so under special circumstances, then yes. But anyway, back to Payback. Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens. Despite not seeing anything before this match, I could still tell there was a lot of heat between the two, a lot of history, and that comes from the fact that both of them show a lot of character to each other, and not to mention the announcers weren't sure up about it.
Yes, well, honestly, sometimes the announcers are the worst part of any wrestling match as of late.
To be honest, the announcers weren't that bad to me, but they...
That's because you're not exposed to them on a weekly basis.
Well, yeah, but then again, I've just kind of shut them out and just say, oh, they're just saying normal information, okay. Anyway, back to the match in question. Sami Zayn is really, really talented. I don't know how to say half of the things he does in the ring, because he just goes around flying everywhere. He's jumping through the lower ropes just to get through corners to do tornado DDTs.
Yes, he does that outside of the ring.
Yes, outside the ring, which is even more amazing. I've never seen anyone do that.
Yes, he also has a killer blue thunder bomb that Michael Cole keeps mistaking for the Michinoku driver.
Or vice versa, because
Yeah.
I think in one of the matches they had against Kevin Owens, he mistakenly called the Michinoku driver the Blue Thunder, or whatever it was called.
He might as well have been doing that. He calls everything wrong, every time.
Yeah, but he also has a very killer big boot to the face when he can do it.
Oh yes, that's the Helluva kick, which is his finisher. It looks like it kills.
It definitely does, with how it slaps against the face. I'm trying to remember what happened in Payback. I mean,
Kevin Owens wins at the end.
yes, Kevin Owens definitely did win that. I remember that one at least.
Clean,
Yeah,
I might add. It's
yes,
important that
yes,
to point that out.
yes, it's very clean. Actually, on to Kevin Owens, actually, this time.
Kevin Owens actually debuted last year on the main roster in 2015. He had his first ever match against John Cena at Elimination Chamber, where he beat John Cena clean in the middle of the ring. And they had one of the best matches all year long. He proceeded to have one of the best feuds all year long, in which John Cena, lol, wins the other two matches that they had.
Okay, then. So yeah, Kevin Owens in the Payback match, despite the fact to me, he doesn't look like any other wrestler that looks athletic.
I know.
He defies all odds by jumping around still, like as if he was any other wrestler who is athletic and fit.
That's the great thing about Kevin Owens. He's one of the best trash talker in the business right now. He's incredibly athletic in a way that's completely unsuspecting. It's like a spiritual successor of such guys as Bam Bam Bigelow, if you will.
Yes,
that could do moonsaults like it's no one else's business, in spite of their size or shape. Or not to mention super kicks.
Or in the case of Kevin Owens, he just chucks himself over everywhere, doing a cannonball in the corner.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Especially when he goes all out and cannonballs everyone in the ring.
Yeah, that one's in Extreme Rules, but again...
So basically, you cannot talk about Sami Zayn as a character and Sami Zayn in the context of his entire career without mentioning Kevin Owens. The two of them had actually been close friends for 14 years, and that actually adds to the emotional and psychological impact of their various encounters, because they really, really work well with each other.
Yeah, they definitely do work really well with each other. I could actually tell from how they flow with each other. It's like you could instantly tell that they have been in the ring together and learned each other's moves inside out. One of the matches, I forget which one Kevin Owens did this in, but he countered one of Sami Zayn's moves where it looked like a tornado DDT, but he turned it into a backbreaker.
Actually, I don't remember which one was.
I don't remember which one it was either, but he definitely did it, and that stood out to me because I never seen a counter done so cleanly like that.
Yes, everything they do is fantastic. Even that one botch move from the second match that they had, which was technically the third match that they had. There was another one they fought on Raw, which Sami Zayn won, on the lead up to this final encounter on Battleground. But anyway, there was this botched move in which Sami Zayn lands wrongly on the apron. Not only he survives that, which you could say it's miraculous. There, done.
Yes, you done it.
Miraculous Sami Zayn. They actually found a way, immediately I might add, to work that botch move into the match itself, with Kevin Owens starting to work on the damaged shoulder and arm of Sami Zayn. The transition from that seemingly botched move to that aspect of the match was so seamless, one might be inclined to think that was not a botched move, but was a work. Which it wasn't, but that's only a testament of how good these two work together.
Yeah, to be honest, even I wouldn't have known that part. I would have thought that was, despite the fact it looked botched and I could tell it was botched, the fact they still put it into the match sort of thing, like it was a part of the whole deal, that's like adds to the experience.
What I really like about the feud between these two characters and athletes is that they found a clever way to expand and dilute their feud as much as humanly possible without it becoming stale in the course of various months by having them put inside matches with other individuals for different goals. And every time they got in the way of each other's possible winning scenario, which only added to the psychological and emotional turmoil of their feud that eventually got so bad that they needed to put a definitive exclamation point type of stop to this sentence, that is their feud, in order to actually being able to move on with their lives and their careers.
Yes, let's see now. All that Madhog just said explains Extreme Rules, the Fatal 4-Way, quite well, actually.
Yeah.
Because the fact, even though Cesaro and The Miz are in the ring sort of thing, you could tell that they're only extras.
No, that's not fair.
Still.
Everybody was really good in that match. In
Well-
fact, I dare say that Cesaro was the MVP in that match, in my
Yes,
opinion.
he was actually. Cesaro actually stood out a lot the most.
Especially when he started European uppercutting everyone, everywhere.
Yo, yeah, that was amazing. He just went uppercutting everyone corner to corner. But
Okay.
the only reason I say that is because you can tell that the moment the bell rings, Kevin Owens gets a boot to the face from Zayn.
Oh,
and,
yes.
And that's like the exclamation point of how much he despises Owens in that match.
And not only that, but in the final beats of the match, basically Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn again end up costing each other the victory, allowing The Miz to pick up the win in the most sleazy, villainous, and cowardly way possible.
Yeah.
Which is very good for The Miz's character.
And it's also very good in showing how Sami Zayn essentially narrowed his vision on Owens because he was frustrated with the fact he just got involved.
Yes.
And took away his victory.
Yes. So again, this all builds up to the fact that they keep getting in each other's way, costing each other matches, and they had to put an exclamation point to the end of the sentence that is their feud, like I said before.
And thus, Battleground came about.
It's important to discuss briefly about another stop in the ongoing feud between Zayn and Owens, and that stop is the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. And this time they were once again involved in a multiple people's match, the Money in the Bank ladder matchup. And this time around, it is Kevin Owens who causes Sami Zayn to be out of the match entirely. Okay. As a payback, if you will, from the WrestleMania 32 match. That was the match that was won by Dean Ambrose, who went on to cash in the Money in the Bank on Seth Rollins, who had just pinned Roman Reigns for the WWE title, and the rest is history. Now, like I said before their final confrontation, for now, that is, at Battleground, they had one last singles match on Raw, which was won by Sami Zayn with a roll-up finish. Obviously, that was not enough, because they still were fighting each other afterwards, constantly.
Yeah.
So this needed to stop. Henceforth, the final encounter at Battleground.
Yes.
So all this time, basically, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are like, Kevin, you're my brother, but also my greatest rival. Yes, that kind of relationship.
The best kind of relationships in wrestling.
This is easily the best booked feud of the year so far, and it had one heck of an exclamation point at the end. This bout between these two is personally my favorite match between these two. They went all out, not only with the wrestling fancy moves, but also with the psychology and the selling and the emphatically outstanding conclusion.
I really liked the Battlegrounds the most out of these 3 Kevin Owen matches. And
Battleground was a surprisingly really good pay-per-view, even more than people thought it would be.
It's just that I really liked this match in particular because it was very different from Payback in the fact that Battleground looked way more brutal between the two.
Oh, yes.
At one point they just started, saying screw it and started punching each other for like what felt like 5 minutes.
I hate you! I hate you more! I think they were literally saying that at some point.
Yes, I really love Kevin Owens for that as well, basically. He really adds his personal stamp on any of those matches because he just...
My gosh, every time that Kevin Owens gets sassy in the ring and just says, and that's why I'm the best, it delights me. It delights me.
It's very rare to hear wrestlers do that, really. Shout at the top of their lungs how much better they are and such. But I think the one thing that I really liked him saying in Battlegrounds was when he was starting to get frustrated and he shouts at Zayn going, "Why won't you stay down?"
Yes, that's classic. Classic.
I was like, that blew me away. It's like,
You don't see that happening so often, but Kevin Owens is prone to do that, actually.
it's amazing. A part of me wishes more wrestlers would do that, but another part of me thinks, nah, this is Kevin Owens' thing, so, it should be unique to him because he actually does it better.
Oh, yes. They are both excellent workers that deserve so much better.
Yeah, they do. But I must admit, though, now that I think about it, it's like Owens is the showboater. It talks the talk, but it can still walk the walk. But Sami Zayn, he just lets his wrestling do all the talking.
Oh yes, he's the no-nonsense mega babyface. But really, when he wants to, he can show a side of him. A nasty, mean side of him that really adds to his character. And that happens when he gets pushed to the limit, like Kevin Owens did. And it was especially evident in the final moments of the match, in which Sami Zayn puts the aforementioned exclamation points at the end of this feud.
Yes. Oh boy.
That was great.
The match was just glorious. Despite...
Glorious!
Yes. Like I said, Payback and Battlegrounds, while similar, I find Battlegrounds adds a bit more by being a bit more brutal. There was actually one trend that happened, though, that I felt was a bit samey, and that was like this one bit where they're on the apron, and at least one of them is going to hit that apron.
Yes, but the way that apron was hit could not have been predicted.
Nope.
The killer brainbuster suplex on the apron. Oh my god!
That was just, good lord. My eyes popped out of my head seeing that.
Yes. I cannot wait to hear your opinions about the Sami Zayn Shinsuke Nakamura match at this point.
Well, we'll be about to get to that.
Okay, so final thoughts for the Sami Zayn Owens feud.
The Sami Zayn Owens feud is like, without context, it's still a really great set of matches that...
oh, yes.
That you just feel like you could just jump into it and you would just instantly know what the story is, behind them, just based on how they wrestle and what Kevin Owens shouts at Zayn.
Yes, they are so good together. They are good on their own, but together they become invincible.
It's like the Raspberry Ripple. They both make each other
better. Yes. You know how the saying goes. Good friends, better enemies. That was actually the title of an In Your House event in 1996 with Shawn Michaels and Diesel, but you get the idea.
Yes, I definitely do get the idea.
So, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Really good wrestlers, really good, talented individuals. And much better when they work with each other. I definitely would love to see more matches between these two in the future, which we're definitely going to get.
I wonder what a tag team of these two would be like.
They would rip each other apart halfway through the first match that they would have.
I think it'd be hilarious if they were ever a tag team. Like, they just end up, having to be forced to work together and
I've seen Kevin Owens teaming up with somebody he despises before, and it was glorious television. So, yes.
But I was just thinking, if these two ever tagged up, it'd be like, they'd be trying to show off to each other, like, going like, I can do this better than you.
They have done that before, actually. So, yes.
But, yeah.
So, how Sami Zayn ends the match, he Helluva kicks Kevin Owens not once, but twice, just for good measure.
He just picks him up, and he just holds him. He looks dazed, like he couldn't even stand up to save his life. Kevin Owens, that is. And Zayn just looks at him, rushes from the other side of the ring back to him, and boots him in the head for good measure.
The second time. This needs more violence.
Now doing that,
I will end you.
Doing that once was a mercy kill, but doing it twice, that is like,
yes,
just overkills him.
Yes, well, it was a long time coming for all the horrible things that Kevin Owens put him through, not just in the main roster but on NXT as well, costing him years from his career in kayfabe. So, yeah, that all adds up to their final confrontation in which finally Sami Zayn gets his final retribution.
And it feels so good.
Satisfying. Speaking of satisfying and good wrestling, let's actually talk about the other match, important match that Zayn had with Shinsuke Nakamura. Earlier this year, it happened in April at the Takeover event in Dallas, 1 or 2 days before WrestleMania 32. And honestly, it was such a good event, it overshadowed an otherwise pretty lackluster WrestleMania weekend. So, Shinsuke Nakamura versus Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
So the way this match came to be, it's the complete opposite of the super personal, emotionally turmoiled storyline in between brothers, but better rivals. That was the Zayn-Owens story. They just decided, you know what? Sami Zayn is going away from NXT and we're signing in Shinsuke Nakamura, the highly anticipated combatant and king of the strong style from New Japan Pro Wrestling. So let's have his first match be the one with the departing Sami Zayn, because it's a dream match. This is all for in the name of good wrestling. It does not have a proper storyline behind it. It happens because they can make it happen. Yes. And I'm so glad they did, because even though they did not have a storyline behind it, these two made their own story during that match.
Yes, it's one of those things where there was no personal stake, but rather it's just
lightning in a bottle.
Yeah, pretty much.
Shinsuke Nakamura, since debuting in NXT, had a lot of great matches with pretty much everyone, because when he kicks people, it looks like murder.
Yeah.
And it's great. But none of that matches that he had, as good as they were, are as good as the one against Sami Zayn. The reason why I think it's lightning in a bottle is because even though these two, by being so great and good in everything they do, could have put up a fantastic match regardless of conditions and situations, the fact that the match ended up being so utterly good, even beyond expectations, it's downright miraculous,
yeah,
if you will. Miraculous Sami Zayn strikes again.
Okay, I believe I said this last time, but the first time I've seen Shinsuke Nakamura in action was against AJ Styles, and I thought that match was amazing.
Yes.
You know, just because you had these two talented wrestlers go at it with each other, you know, doing what they do best by themselves, but together in a way that it's... I'll actually have to save that line for when we actually get into the Shinsuke Nakamura versus Sami Zayn. Yeah, Shinsuke. Shinsuke.
Shinsuke.
Shinsuke. It's just that usually in Japan they call him Shinsuke.
No, it's Shinsuke.
Alright then.
That's the right pronunciation.
I'll just call him Nakamura from now on, just to avoid that issue with my accent.
Okay.
Anyway.
It's like the same way you cannot say the word nuclear to save your life.
Again, I can say nuclear.
Oh my gosh, he said it! He said it again! Oh, this is so funny.
Anyway,
please,
so
go on.
Context for this particular match, despite the fact, you know, Madhog has already hinted at it, this was the debut match of Nakamura versus Sami Zayn, to be exact. So yeah, when this match first started, by the time everyone was going through the entrances and Nakamura was coming down, you could see the camera linger on Sami Zayn just staring down Nakamura, like he sees the new guy come waltzing in and he just knows what he's going to be facing up against, and he knows this would be like this great challenge that's just come in. Stares him down, like, not in the way that you would expect, but in the way that seems like as if he knows what's coming, and he's trying to think of already ways to, to counteract the moves that Nakamura has up his sleeve, or lack of one, when he takes off that jacket, that awesome jacket of his.
Oh, yes.
I mean, let me just say, Nakamura has tons of charisma.
Oh, yes.
We talk about Joe Hendry having tons of charisma, but Nakamura,
Oh, yes.
he swaggers and minces any way he wants down the ring, as far as
Yes.
I'm concerned, because it's golden.
King of Strong Style has arrived.
He just has his own thing that just works to the crowd.
Flamboyant to the max.
And it's wonderful. And it just makes you anticipate it even more so, this match.
Yes.
And by the time it starts, magic happens.
Oh my god, yes.
Poetry in motion. Everything.
Yes. You know that moment in the middle of the match that they start just elbowing each other over and over again in a test of constant resilience, and the crowd just start chanting, "Fight forever!"
You know you put on a great match when the crowd says that.
The only other time I heard the crowd chanting "Fight forever" was in the final match between Zayn and Owens.
Oh dear. It's just at that point you're just wondering, how long can you people stay there? Watching them beat the crap out of each other like this.
My gosh, that match was so good. It was even better than the one with AJ Styles in Japan, and that's saying something.
And to be honest, when I saw that AJ Styles match, it felt, like it was poetry in motion, but yet with Sami Zayn instead of AJ Styles, it felt that much more.
A good thing about Sami Zayn is that he might be the most adaptable wrestler in the company right now. Much like Kevin Owens, he can put up great matches with pretty much anybody, regardless of their style. And really, Shinsuke Nakamura is a prime example of that. Shinsuke Nakamura is another one who can basically put up great matches with everybody. All he needs to do is kicking people.
That's actually pretty much what Nakamura pretty much does most of the time.
He's also a proficient technician on the mat, if he wants to.
Yes, he can grapple and, do some good maneuvers, but most of the time he's a striker with his legs.
It's magic.
Yes, when you see him kick people, the sound it makes, it feels like it rings in your ears. It's that powerful.
Look, the only one who can match that level of stiff kicking is Kota Ibushi. And again, you should watch that match between Ibushi and Cedric Alexander I mentioned last time.
That will come soon.
So yes, Sami Zayn is having one heck of a year in terms of wrestling quality. He never has a downtime in that regard. He always puts up the best he can put up, honestly.
Yeah.
People like him and Kevin Owens are just treasures. Treasures that should be treasured more than they currently are.
Yes, they definitely do deserve a lot for what they have brought to the company.
Oh, yes.
But one interesting thing that I've noted when... that move that Sami Zayn goes for, the Tornado DDT, when he, outside the ring, he tries to jump through the bottom turnbuckle and then grab them. I've only seen that in the matches you showed me. He only succeeded in that once. He got countered by Kevin Owens in one of the matches I've seen.
Yes, well, he actually does that pretty often.
And, between the two, Nakamura obviously had the better one because...
Oh my gosh, he kicked him so hard in the face!
That kick, good lord. I mean, Owens did a really big kick to him, but Nakamura just
What's really disappointing about it when Owens counter-attacked him was that the camera was way off to actually properly give us the scope of the damage.
They learned from their mistake then. Oh wait, no, it's actually the way around.
Yeah.
Damn.
Came after that. Damn!
Oh dear. But yeah, the kick, that's just, you could just feel it.
Yes. Of course, at the end, Nakamura is the one who wins.
Well, yeah, because
for obvious reasons.
Yes, obvious reasons involving debuting and all that jazz. I actually should also say that the match of Nakamura versus Sami Zayn, it feels like a passing of the torch, so to speak.
Yes, every match in NXT between a guy who's leaving and a guy who's actually starting up had that feeling. There was a match between Nakamura and Finn Balor earlier during the summer.
Yeah.
Balor was obviously going to the main roster to be a main eventer, so obviously he lost to Nakamura, who was staying in NXT. The match was good. It was really good. But not half as good as the match between him and Sami Zayn.
Well, no, of course not.
That's why I say that match was lightning in a bottle. I doubt that even if these two get to wrestle each other again, it will be as good as the first time around. This is one of those all-time classics, instant classics that cannot be replicated.
Yeah, it definitely is a one-shot deal, essentially, that hit the mark. It just hits all the right places. And I must admit, I did like the announcer's analogy of, Nakamura, it's basically say, I'm coming into your house, I'm drinking your beer.
Yeah, the announcer team in NXT is so much better.
And then when Zayn starts getting back on the offense, they go like, now Zayn's replying with, no, you're not gonna just come into my house and take all my beer, and I'm gonna drink my beer. Right in front of you.
Yes, and before you know it, we get to a Brian Pillman as a gun reference.
I just don't know. I really liked it. It's like as if I just really like the idea.
Tavares excited.
The new guy just comes in, like showing him what form, and then he's like, suddenly the other guy is like, oh no, I've got more. This is the yard, my yard. I know this yard better than you do. Sorry, I'm too excited right now.
Yes, Devar is overexcited about Nakamura and Sami Zayn fighting each other. That's understandable. Everybody in Dallas was at the time. Honestly, that should have been the main event, because the other two matches, which were not bad, were pretty good, could not live up to that.
I would hate to be the one following that match.
Yeah, well, the ones following that match were Bayley versus Asuka for the Women's Championship. And it was also a really, really good match.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else left to say.
No, I think we pretty much covered it all. Sami Zayn is our personal superhero. He is Miraculous Sami Zayn. I'm forcing this analogy because screw it.
Yes. And
next time, Sami Zayn will team up with Ladybug to take on the team of Orkmorph and Broken Matt. Together they will try to delete them once and for all.
And then Nakamura comes in out of nowhere.
Yes, why not? Sure. And Kevin Owens comes up too and feuds with Nakamura. I would love to see that.
Oh, now that you've mentioned it, I would love to see that match too.
Yes.
I mean, it'd be interesting to see what Kevin Owens would bring to the table on that one.
And now you just need to see what Finn Balor can do to truly appreciate why is so much main event material, possibly even more than Nakamura.
But I researched him a bit, so I know a little bit about what goes on with him.
This whole gimmick of being the avatar of Balor, the Demon King, is such a cool gimmick to begin with.
Yeah.
And he lives it up so well.
Just because we're talking about Balor right now.
Balor.
I don't know why. For some reason, an announcer said Balor, and that stuck to me.
Yeah, the announcer. They cannot even pronounce the name of Bobby Roode. They call him Bobby Roode!
Yeah, so... one thing I do like about him is the entrance music he has.
Oh my gosh, yes, that's the first thing that gets you.
It's like, and then when he comes to the ring and he's on the ropes and he goes in time with the music, it's like,
but have you see him entering the ring as the Demon King?
Yes.
Oh boy.
It's so cool.
It is.
I mean, it's, all that makeup though must have took ages.
Yes, it takes a lot, but like I said, this is dedication. So, anyway, this has been our second episode of our wrestling podcast, in which, for some inexplicable reason, we also discussed a Nickelodeon show.
Well, you discussed it, but I was just
well, yes.
it up.
me, but I found a very clever and not at all forced way to link it in with Sami Zayn's story? No? Okay. Never mind.
Yeah.
Miraculous Sami Zayn. That's a thing now.
Huzzah!
So, thank you for joining us, everybody. After this recording and possibly after posting this on Monday, I believe, I'll be out and about for about 5 days. And I'm going to go to a film festival.
Yeah.
And also, there's the sea to bath myself in.
All right.
So I'll be out for a week, basically. And this will be the final video that I post before I leave. I guess I'll see you all in a week time.
All right, then. Well, I hope you have a safe trip and you take good care of yourself while you're out there.
Once again, this has been Madhog and Big Van de Var.
Yes, Big Van de Var. Or in this case, Big Damn de Var.
Ron Simmons de Var.
Yes, Ronson. Nice. Anyway.
So see you next time for more exotic and exquisite content from yours truly.
Yes, so see you around, guys, and take care of yourselves.
Brother Devar, you are my greatest rival. Katamaru interferes in the match. Girl Shine in Paradise quotes. Yeah.